Hello cartoon watchers of the internet, I'm Channel Hopper, and today we're going to look at another popular ship in the My Hero Academia series and determine whether or not it's possible this ship will set sail or sink. Now, as you can tell by the title of this video, we're going to focus on the two most outgoing but some of the more absent-minded students in Class 1A, those two being Ejiro Kirishima and Mina Ashido. So we gotta ask ourselves, why this pair? Are they compatible with each other? What can the ship offer to their character and the story? Also, is it even possible in the show given the interactions and personalities of these characters from the anime and the manga? Also, just a heads up for those that haven't read the manga yet, I will be going over some points in the chapters, so there will be a few spoilers. Now, starting with the anime, both characters haven't had much interactions outside of a school setting. They've teamed up in the cavalry battle acting as support for Bakugo, and both had to take extra lessons during the training camp. While Ejiro and Ashido do socialize well enough with each other and their classmates to hang out at the mall and participate in the best room competition, they haven't had much of a one-on-one interaction with each other, but something they do have in common is their dislike for Monoma's behavior, but at this point everyone feels the same way about him. Personality-wise, Mina has an upbeat and extroverted attitude of a typical high school girl where she likes cute boys, social gatherings, and extravagant freestyle performances, whether it's for recreational or heroic purposes. Ejiro is more of a boisterous and energetic character who enjoys the concept of manliness. Both are outgoing people who can easily make friends with anyone and enjoy flashy heroics, though they fall short when it comes to critical thinking skills. So why this pair? Well, they're both always battle ready and do share similar traits of becoming a hero by acting before thinking when it comes to protecting others. Their drive to become heroes is something they share on equal footing with their other classmates, but both are capable of standing out in their own unique way, and that's just the anime alone. Most of the pair's potential comes from a flashback sequence in the manga where it's mentioned that both students attended the same middle school together and shared more of an acquaintance status rather than a friendship one. Kirishima wants to be the sort of hero that jumps into the action without any hesitation or worry about his own safety in order to save others, similar to his idol Crimson Riot. However, when faced with the opportunity to stand up for someone else against a villain, Kirishima seems to be frozen with fear and unable to step in and defend other students. This is where Mina comes in, as she is able to neutralize the situation not by a show of force, but by simply talking it out. Now, in this instance, Kirishima saw Mina as the everyday example of what a hero is supposed to be and someone more capable of being a hero than he is. I like to think that Ashido is a suitable second idol for Kirishima to strive towards, as she challenges Kirishima to improve himself mentally versus physically. Mina is a great support for Kirishima's character and encourages him to try hard, and once he comes to terms with his past self, he can strive towards his goal of living up to his first idol more effectively. I feel that Mina's free spirit and always smiling personality is what can keep Ejiro grounded and can support him to get up and try again. Also in this panel, some people have mentioned that the appearance of sakura flowers hinted at their possible relationship in the future, but to me, this doesn't guarantee they will be a couple, but more as sincere friends who care about one another. So what can this pair add to their character and the story as a whole? Well, in terms of their relationship towards the other, we know Kirishima and Mina do respect each other as equals and considers the other one as a close friend and even horn buddies. They can depend on the other one when needed and enjoy the other's company, but I like to think there's more to it. As we know, rivals play a significant role in the show, as the case with Bakugo and Midoriya, who act as the perfect foils to one another as they strive towards the same goal of becoming the next #1 hero, but lack a certain quality that the other one has that prevents them from truly succeeding alone. Now back onto Kirishima, he lacks the initiative and confidence at first to step in and defend others, but Mina on the other hand was able to act without hesitation and resolve the conflict without damage to herself and her friends. Both have grown from this experience but still need improvements in their respective fields when it comes to dealing with different scenarios and how they utilize their quirks to get the job done. Now that's all that can work in favor of the ship, but some things that can work against this pairing is that Kirishima seems to be too fond of the concept of manliness and showcased a bad habit of giving sympathy towards a common thug who displayed a cowardice attitude, which sounds noble on paper, but in a real-life scenario, that sort of thinking can be a death sentence when dealing with criminals on his own. The same can be said about Mina, since she might be capable of making the same mistake in this scenario, as we know from past instances that she opposes violence if she believes she can defuse a situation by talking it out. Mina's free spirit nature also seems to hinder her academic skills, as she tends to not take her studies seriously. I feel that both can easily get along with each other, but aren't really suitable at the moment to challenge or improve the other one's flaws, as mentioned earlier given their eccentric characteristics. While both are always ready to come to the aid of their friends, they're not really sufficient enough to strategize a game plan in the end. They're really good as friends in social environments, but as teammates or in a learning setting, they're just not on the right level yet. As mentioned earlier, Kirishima still has trouble coming to terms with his old middle school self, and Mina has shown concerns for his well-being, and this might play a part in helping him overcome his flaws, and thus a connection can be made if given the right opportunity. But we'll just have to wait and see when this is brought up again. At this point in the video, I usually mention their compatibility and blood types and how it reflects their personality and potential connections, but after looking these two up, there's not much in this theory that can support this pairing. Ejiro is type O, which classifies him as ambitious, strong in the face of adversity, as evident by his actions during the USJ attack against Kurogiri and wanting to lead the charge during the Bakugo rescue mission. He's very straightforward towards his goal, as hinted by his drive to live up to his idol. Sadly, that's kind of all that fits in with his character thus far. As for Mina, similar to Tokoyami, she has a blood type of AB, which lists her personality as sociable, creative, and outgoing, but that's where it ends for her. Their compatibility with each other seems to be based on the idea that they can get along with each other, but when put in the same arena, they'll heavily compete with one another, which seems possible since we know both like the spectacle of heroism, though they only seem to be focused on the broader sense of being a hero rather than the fine details. So overall, I'd say this pairing gets a score of 3 out of 5 or 60% in my book. I'd classify this pairing as possible but not probable given the material that we got so far in the show. I'm not saying that this ship will sink, but just the fact that it isn't ship-shaped to even hit the water yet. Now that's not to say that I don't believe in these two, because I do like both of them as characters and feel they do have the makings of a great team given their unique skill set, but as a typical anime romance, it's too early in the game to come to a clear conclusion. The best way I can describe their possible future relationship is similar to what's known as a battle couple, as seen in most animes, where two characters share battles and wars alongside each other and eventually begin to grow closer to one another and become a dynamic duo. That being said, most of what's holding this pair back is a lack of a more personal interaction between these two. Both are relegated to the sidelines most of the time, and the screen time they do get is subpar towards our main cast in the show, and the manga sorta gave us more context versus substance to their relationship. Now, Horikoshi has stated that he wants to do more with Mina in the future, which means she'll have a lot more development later on. With all that said, let me know about your thoughts about this pairing in the comments below. I'd like to hear more evidence supporting these two. Also, be sure to list any other pairings you'd like me to talk about. Until next time, I'm your cartoon/anime and animation fanatic Channel Hopper, and the next review is just a click away.